Architecture is the science and art of making buildings. But is that it? Or there is more? To understand architecture, let us do it the old school way. Dictionaries. I promise this will help. Merriam Webster defines it as the art or science of building, specifically, the art or practice of designing and building structures, especially the habitable ones. Which to any architecture student or architect might seem very vague. Cambridge has a similar definition, and so does Oxford. These dictionaries are just summarizing different aspects of architecture. But what does all this mean? Science of building is something that is straightforward. Many aspects of architecture come under science. Understanding how structural and MEP systems help in keeping the buildings up and running, understanding the constraints of the climate, and adhering by the bylaws and the construction laws of the locality are some of the items on the list, and the list goes on. Science is logical, but outside, makes things confusing. Is it the way the building facade looks like? Is it how it displays itself? Or is it about how designing buildings becomes an architect's muscle memory that he now flexes about being an artist? Chances are all these are correct. Oh no, I'm not going to bore you with another dictionary definition. Instead, let me show you two sets of pictures. Of these two pictures, which one looks more lively and happier? And of these two pictures, which one looks more young and more dynamic? In both these cases, you might have selected the one on the right. Photography is nothing but art. Art of capturing moments, art of capturing experiences. Experience is the key word here. It's about how the viewer or the client perceives a specific object, what kind of feelings or memories are induced in him, and how does he react to these experiences. Is this feeling only perceived by him or a considerable chunk of the society? Many questions can be asked. Experiences don't have to be psychological effects of an object. Ability to reduce workload or provide you with the means to do work with minimal effort can also be an experience. It's like a product service hybrid. So, in architecture, if you consider the building you have designed as your product, your service is the experience you deliver through your product. Architecture is no different from your phone, just that the scale is larger and you can live in it to explore it. Most companies believe in providing experience with the product. Samsung does this, Apple does this. You might have observed luxury brands sell experience and not their product. In architecture, it's also about universal design, about how you can provide hindrance-free experience for everyone. And that's where science works with art to make such experiences even better. So, our aim must be to make our clients happier, live a hindrance free life, not feel lonely or aloof from the society and surrounding context, stay active, spend family time, actively participate in different events taking place around them. While the building must also serve its purpose that it was built for. Wait. But how do you do all that? What? How do you build better experiences? Okay, so most architecture students focus on building better buildings with great aesthetics. But architecture is not just that. It's about amalgamation of different experiences, not just aesthetics. I was there too. Design is not about getting it right on the first go. It's about building your design muscles slowly. Here is one way that you can do it that I use in my projects as well. You can first prepare a checklist of the priority of experiences that you want your clients to experience in your project. So after you're done with that, arrange these experiences in descending order of their importance. The one that is most important, needs to be on top of your list. An important step: study all that you can about these items in your checklist and make sure you have a profound amount of knowledge about these experiences. Now, come up with the rough plan, base model, and maybe a sketch of the elevations of your project. And once you are done with that, the real part starts. Before you go to the next step, glance through your priority list carefully and ensure that everything is in place and you're not missing out anything. Now, depending on the typology of your building, the order of your checklist will change. If you're designing a house for the elderly, universal design will be your topmost priority. If you're designing a theme park, your priority will be about how to keep your customers engaged throughout the park. Now that everything is set, imagine your project as completed structure. If you have your completed structure in your mind, you need to start from the site boundary and traverse through the site. Right from your site gate, have a travel through the site and see what is prior in your checklist of experiences and see if everything in your plan, base model, and the sketch of elevation is meeting with your priority. For example, if you have certain issues regarding universal design, then you will have to fix it. Note it down on a sheet of paper that you are facing a problem related to universal design in this part of the house. If you have narrow passages, then write them down. If you have a dead end with a gray wall in your amusement park, write it down so that you can go back and think of creative ways to solve such issues. Once you're done with one item on the checklist, move on to the next one and ensure that that item's necessities are satisfied by your project. Once all this is done, you can understand which issues needs to be resolved and which can remain. So you can get creative solutions for these problems that you're facing in your model. And I know this is a time-consuming process, but design is meant to be time-consuming so that you can spend time with it to perfect it. And at times you may not perfect it to the extent that you wish to, but this process helps you understand where you're having problems with your experiences in the model or in your project. Also, one thing to note is that some experiences may have equal importance. So you need to understand how to balance the two experiences. It's not about how a building is perceived by you as a physical entity. It's about the experiences you have while using your building. To what extent does the building ease your task? What kind of feelings do you sense when you are inside or outside the space, and the memories that you have while using the space? And thus, you create art with the help of science. Thank you for watching this video and stick around for more on design and architecture from RDL, that is Raydiant Design Lab, and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified whenever we post such videos.